Hi, Fiction Recapped here. Today, I will explain the mystery thriller called The Ninth Gate. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The opening scene shows us an office filled with books, with a rope hanging from the ceiling, and a man sitting at his desk, writing what it seems to be a letter to someone. Once he's done, he casually stands up and goes to hang himself. The movie begins with Dean Corso, a book dealer, helping a family determine the value of the books in their library. He tells them that for the books to sell, a certain period of time has to pass, but that he can buy one of the books immediately. Later on, while he's leaving their apartment, another book dealer calls him a vulture, basically explaining that he scammed the family. That's business, I guess. In the next scene, Corso goes to visit his friend Bernie, who works at a library. He tells him about the book he acquired, and they make a deal to sell it to Bernie's client. Later on, Corso goes to a book presentation, where he notices a woman watching him. He chooses to ignore that, dozing off during the presentation, only to be awakened by Boris Balkan, the man who was holding the presentation and a famous book collector. The two go up to his office, where Balkan shows Corso a book called The Nine Gates of the Kingdom of the Shadows, by an author Aristide Torquia, whose work all got burned alongside himself during the Holy Inquisition, except 3 copies of The Nine Gates. Balkan argues how only one is authentic, and gives Corso an assignment to figure out which one it is, whether it's his copy that he bought from Andrew Telfer, who sold it to him the day before he killed himself, or whether it's the books of the 2 other owners from Europe. He explains that the original book has a riddle, which one can use to conjure up the Prince of Darkness, also known as the Devil. Corso is hesitant to accept the offer, but after getting a check with enough zeros on it, folds. Balkan tells him that if his copy is a forgery, he wants Corso to bring him the real one no matter what. Later on, Corso decides to visit the widow of the late Telfer, Liana, asking her about the 9 gates. She's shocked to see the book in his possession. As she's showing him around the apartment, he asks her whether or not her husband indulged in satanic rituals, which she laughs off. He leaves quickly afterwards, noticing a man sitting in the garden of the Telfer house. In the next scene, Corso is sitting in a library, studying Balkan's copy. While he's doing so, he notices the same woman from the presentation behind one of the shelves. But when he tries to look for her, she seems to have disappeared. Confused, he continues to look through the book, only to once again notice the same woman looking at him and disappearing just as easy. Once he returns to his apartment, already on edge from the woman, he sees that his apartment has completely been trashed. Understanding that someone was probably trying to find the 9 gates, he goes back to Bernie, giving him the book to hide it, telling him he'll pick it up before going to the airport to Europe. While Corso is packing to leave, Liana shows up at his door, asking him to sell her the book. She attempts to try and seduce him into giving it to her after he refuses. But once she realizes that the book isn't with him, Liana attacks him, screaming for him to give it back. Before he gets to fight back, she slams a glass bottle against his head, knocking him unconscious. Once he wakes up, he calls Bernie, but his call is sent to voicemail. Worried, he goes to check on him, only to find Bernie hanging by his foot, clearly dead. Corso is shaken, but finds the book and leaves, stopping at the nearby phone booth to call Balkan and tell him that he quits. Balkan ignores that, telling him that he never said the job will be easy, hence the size of the check, and that he's even willing to give him a bonus. In the next scene, Corso is seen sitting on the plane on his way to Spain. He goes through the 9 gates again, seeing an illustration inside it, of the man hanging by his leg, similarly to how he found Bernie. Once he has arrived to Spain, he visits 2 book restorers, brothers Ceniza, who were previous owners of the copy, asking whether they speak English and if they can help him figure out if Balkan's copy is a forgery. The 2 are surprised to find out Telfer sold the book, revealing that it was Liana who bought it and not Mr. Telfer. They also mention how if the book is fake, it would take the work of a master to do it. They show him minor details that he might have missed, like the fact that the engravings have certain puzzles in them, or warnings, such as venture too far and danger will descend on you from above, and how the book was a collaboration between Turquia and another author, signed LCF, which Corso realizes is actually Lucifer. As he leaves, he walks past a construction site that starts falling apart as soon as he gets close to it. He narrowly escapes getting hurt, but this could be interpreted as the warning the two brothers told him about, which Corso seems to realize himself. In the next scene, Corso is on a train on his way to Portugal, and he once again sees the woman that has been following him. The movie finally letting her talk for the first time. They indulge in a bit of banter, Corso sure that she's working for Balkan, but she doesn't give him any definitive answers. She doesn't even let him know her name, and he creatively calls her Green Eyes, due to the color of her eyes. She tells him she might see him later, to which he responds that he wouldn't be surprised if she does. Once he gets to Portugal, he visits the owner of one of the 3 Nine Gates, Victor Fargas, who lets him stay and compare his copy to Balkan's, but briefly mentions how he would never sell it. Corso, while explaining the books, notices minor differences in engravings and illustrations, such as doors being sealed or keys being held in different places. As he leaves Fargas's estate, he's almost run over by the same man he saw at the Telfer house, watching him. But before anything else can ensue, a person on a motorbike shows up, interrupting the scene, and the man drives off. Later on, Corso once again, to no one's surprise, sees the girl that has been following him at the hotel he's staying in, asking whether or not she's the person who saved him on the bike. Before she can answer, their conversation is interrupted by a phone call from Balkan. While Corso explains the situation and the differences, Balkan orders him to get Fargas's book, even though he refuses to sell it. The phone call ends there, leaving Corso to wonder whether this job is worth it. Early the next morning, the girl knocks on his door, waking him up, telling him to go and visit Fargas, and that she will be waiting for him outside. Once Corso gets down, he sees her on the motorcycle, confirming that she's the one who saved him. Once they get to the Fargas estate, Corso notices the door is locked and that no one is answering the doorbell, and the girl tells him that he's not in the house, but somewhere near the fountain in the garden. As Corso gets closer, he sees Fargas dead in the fountain, clearly drowned by someone. With a little help from the girl, he manages to get inside the house, only to find Fargas's copy almost completely burned in the fireplace. Once he gets out, he verbally attacks the girl, but she ignores his questions, telling him that they, together, have the time to make it to a flight to Paris. In the plane there, Corso is still shaken from what happened to Fargas, saying how he could easily end up the same way and how he feels he's part of the same game. The girl confirms his suspicions, saying that he's starting to like it. As they get off the plane, the girl once again disappears, but Corso doesn't seem that surprised by it anymore. When he gets to his hotel in Paris, he compares the burned copy with Balkan's and notices a few pages missing. After that, he goes to Baroness Kessler, the owner of the 3rd copy. As they have small talk, she reveals that Leanna's maiden name is Saint Martin, and that she only married Mr. Telfer for his money, so she can reinvest in her family's estate. She also reveals how numerous amount of rich people who believe in Lucifer's existence, due to the 9 Gates, gather around on the anniversary of Turkia's death to try and summon the devil. Unfortunately, when she figures out that Corso works for Balkan, she kicks him out, unwilling to let him see her copy, because clearly all old people in this movie have an obsession with a satanic book. When Corso leaves Kessler's office, he again sees the man from Telfer's garden, but quickly escapes him by entering a cafe. He stays there throughout the day, keeping an eye on the man, waiting for him to leave. Once he assumes the man left, he leaves the cafe, only to be surprised by the man who starts chasing him with his car. Corso runs down the tunnel next to the river, trying to hide from the man, but the man catches him on the other side, and the two start fighting over Corso's bag, where the book is hidden. As they fight, the girl that's been following Corso shows up, somehow flying down the stairs and gets accidentally hit in the nose by Corso, which causes her to move away and let him deal with the man himself. The man escapes easily, and Corso gives up on chasing him, while the girl brings him the bag and his broken glasses. The two make their way to Corso's hotel, Corso telling the receptionist to ask around for Leanna. When they get to his room, they clean themselves up from the fight. The two share a moment in which the girl covers Corso with the blood from her nose, while her eyes start to glow unnaturally. They're interrupted by a phone ringing. He asks that the phone call is transmitted to the reception, clearly not trusting the girl. Once he's by the reception, he answers the call again, revealing that it's Balkan calling him. Corso is frustrated, telling him about the events that happened, but Balkan simply tells him to go and see Kessler again during lunchtime, due to Corso being afraid of Kessler's secretary. After he's finished with the call, he goes to photocopy certain pages from Balkan's book. As he returns to his room, the girl is already gone. Then, he decides to hide the book, realizing that it's too dangerous for him to carry it with himself. The next day, he once again visits Kessler's office and shows her pages from Balkan's copy, managing to convince her to let him compare the two books. While he's examining them, he's hit unconscious once again, and when he regains consciousness, sees Baroness Kessler dead and the book burning. He runs away back to the hotel, where he finds out that Balkan's copy is also gone. Corso, angered by that, goes to the reception to report the missing item, only to be interrupted by Balkan calling him again. Corso tells him that the Baroness is dead and that her copy is also destroyed. Balkan is happy to hear that, telling him that his job is done and that he needs to bring back the book, only for Corso to reveal that his book is also taken. Balkan subtly threatens him, practically revealing that he's behind the deaths of two other owners. When they're done with the call, he sees the girl again. He attacks her, asking her where the book is, but she quickly disarms him, telling him that she wouldn't be there if she was the one who took the book. Corso asks the receptionist what the person who took the book looked like, and he describes a woman similarly to what Liana looks like. Meanwhile, the main receptionist tells him that he found out where Liana is staying. Corso thanks the receptionist, leaving him a note to send to Balkan. Him and the girl make their way to the hotel Liana is staying at. Once they get to her room, they see that it's been completely cleared, but that a cigarette is still lit, meaning that she must still be close around. The two descend down to the main hall, seeing Liana with the man that's been following them. Corso and the girl try to find a cab they could use to follow them, but are unsuccessful, watching as Liana and the man drive off. While Corso is still desperately trying to catch a cab, the girl steals a car from one of the people that just arrived. The two start following Liana, but end up losing them because a truck got in their way. They end up at a three-way street, Corso letting the girl choose where they will go next. She picks a path, but there's still no sight of them. Corso tells her to drive back, and she notices a sign on the highway saying Saint Martin, which is Liana's maiden name. The two make their way down the street the sign is showing, asking for directions to Liana's estate. Once they find their way there, they sneak into her house, finding Liana preparing for the ritual Baroness Kessler talked about. Corso takes the book, but before they can escape, the man shows up, Liana ordering him to take the book from Corso, threatening them with a gun. Corso hands over the book, and Liana tells the man to kill them. As the three walk to the basement, where the man was planning on killing them, Corso throws him down the stairs and attacks him, killing him. The two make their way to the main hall, where the ritual is taking place. Before Corso can interrupt them, Balkan shows up, taking the book from Liana, choking her. Corso tries to stop him, but the girl interrupts him, stopping him from intervening. The audience runs off in fear, and Corso goes off to find Balkan, leaving the girl. Unfortunately, Corso is unable to find him and goes to rest at a nearby cafe, where he asks about the whereabouts of the castle from a postcard he got from Balkan. Once he gets there, he finds Balkan performing a ritual and tries to stop him, but doesn't do much due to getting stuck. Corso watches as Balkan attempts to continue the ritual, setting himself on fire. Unfortunately, nothing happens and Balkan starts burning alive. Corso manages to free himself, taking the remaining pages, killing Balkan, and escaping the slowly burning castle. Once he gets to Balkan's car, wanting to escape, the girl surprises him inside it. The two sleep together in front of the castle in flames. As they make their way back, the girl reveals that one of the engravings is a forgery, but doesn't tell Corso where to find the real one, instead telling him that he's running out of gas. As he goes to pay for the gas, the girl is once again missing. The only thing he finds is the 9th engravement, which the girl said is a forgery. On it written Siniza Brothers, basically telling him to go back there. In the next scene, Corso is back to where he met the Siniza brothers, but their stuff have all been taken out, the only two people there being two workers. When he asks them where the brothers are, they don't answer him because they don't understand English. As they try to move a big shelf, a paper falls from it in front of Corso's legs. When he picks it up, he sees that it's the missing engravement, with a woman that looks similar to the girl that was following him. The movie ends with Corso going back to the castle as the light gets brighter, indicating that he succeeded in finding the 9th gate. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.